All right, we'll do quick rant, quick topic. Um, I just did episode 3, so if you want to go back and listen to it, and I had no idea about the audio levels, so I stopped it really short, at 30 minutes, just because I really thought that I recorded with terrible audio. So this should be better, and the last one should sound good, but the last few episodes, so didn't sound too good, but it looks like it's fixed. So what I just want to do is a quick state of WWE and what the product is or what the product was, and I guess how I was introduced to it. So I would say I started watching 91, 92 religiously when they first, I guess, Raw came out in 93. So when they first started doing, weekly shows during the week, everyone watched Superstars, everyone watched the WrestleManias. When we were little, Hogan Savage, Hogan Warrior, everyone's seen those, but no one really watched it religiously. So ever since the start of Raw, you got to watch it, and having the network going back and just seeing how fun it was, how different it was. Raw was just an hour back then, so there was about two matches with mid carders facing fake guys, and then you had either two high mid carders or intercontinental champion fighting someone whether it be non-title match or whatever, and then interviews and stuff like that. So that's how Raw started. Going into the Attitude Era, WWE competing with Monday Nitro, the whole NWO thing, that was kind of the height of it for me. Um, it was hard because, you know, you wanted to watch Raw, you wanted to watch Nitro, you wanted to see everything live so you could talk about it the next day, but then also during football season, you had to watch Monday Night Football. So it was kind of tough. You kind of lose. It's easy to lose interest, or it's easy to miss a segment or a week, and then you're out of the loop. But back then wrestling was a thing. If you went into school Tuesday morning and you didn't see Raw, you didn't see Austin stun somebody, or did you see the end of Raw? You're left out. So that's how popular it was back then. I would say 2000. I think I was 14. Yeah, 14, 15 years old. We go to Royal Rumble in Madison Square Garden, and that was awesome. I mean, we had the cheapest, highest, worst nosebleed seats in the house, but we loved it. 14, 15 years old going into the city for wrestling. One of the main events was Mankind or Cactus Jack versus Triple H in a New York street fight. Taz debuted against Kurt Angle to beat him, his first loss. I believe you had The Rock winning the Rumble, pushing over Big Show, which I guess the next night on Raw they showed the videotape and showed that they were both out at the same time or whatever. But that was when Austin got neck surgery in real life and they hit him with the limo, so they wrote him off for a little bit. That was the start of the decline because that led to WrestleMania 2000, which was every McMahon had a representative, and it was a four-way. It was Triple H versus Mankind versus The Rock versus Big Show. And I don't even remember who won. It might have been, Big Show or The Rock, or maybe Triple H. I don't even remember who won. But we spent the money for the pay-per-view. Actually, back then is when they released the big VCR box set of every single WrestleMania, and then on pay per view from 6 in the morning to 8 at night they showed every single. I think by that time it was WrestleMania 16. So yeah, WrestleMania 2000 would have been WrestleMania 16. They showed every single WrestleMania, and you could pay $100 and just leave pay per view on and just watch it. And we did that. I'd say we watched about 6 hours of pre show before the WrestleMania. I remember exactly where I was. We got McDonald's, all our friends. We looked forward to this, and it was one of the worst main events ever. One of the worst pay-per-views ever, minus the tables, ladders, and chairs, Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, and Dudley Boys tag team match. I believe that was WrestleMania 2000. Anyway, that pay per view, for some reason, I just said I'm not watching this crap anymore because they took our money. They did whatever they did with the main event or whatever, and Austin was gone. The Rock was, I guess, he was doing Scorpion King at that time, so he was out of the picture for a little bit, or was planning to be out of the picture, and it just kind of sucked. You had China was like the Intercontinental Champion or European, whatever they called it. You slowly had all the WCW guys coming in. I think by that time Jericho was in there. I'm not sure about. No, I think Eddie Guerrero came with Malenko, Saturn, and Benoit, which you're not supposed to say Benoit's name. So by that time, they just had too much talent that they didn't know what to do with. And if you listen to CM Punk's podcast, you know that they really don't know what to do with some of this talent or some of the storylines. So after WrestleMania 2000, I kind of stopped cold turkey and just, got more into sports, Monday Night Football. By that time, Nitro was awful. You had Vince Russo running the show. They got the new logo or whatever. I believe Goldberg was the champion and lost to Nash because Nash wrote himself in to the storyline and wanted to be champion. Not WCW was terrible. They were losing talent and losing quality. So I stopped watching that too. And then I would say, from 2000 to I started watching it the week of CM Punk's rant, which is now 4 years ago, which is crazy. I think 2011. That can't be. I'm going to look that up. There's no way that can't be that. Alright, I'll try to find that. Let's see. Oh, found my phone. I will look it up for you. It was, the classic pipe bomb rant, where, John Cena's in the ring and, this is, wow, it was June 27, 2011, so 4 years ago, or 3.5, whatever you want to say. For some reason, I don't know why I was flicking the channels, and I saw it, and, I missed a lot during that time, 11 years, so I never got to see Brock Lesnar wrestle. I missed the whole Invasion thing, which I'm glad I did because I heard they messed that up. And going back on YouTube on WWE Network, you kind of rewatch it or just see a little bit of it. They messed that up. I missed Cena versus Orton for 5,000 times. I missed Orton. I missed Evolution. I missed a lot. So but you still know who John Cena is or whatever. Even though you don't follow it, and I still knew who Brock Lesnar was. But I didn't know who CM Punk was. And I turn it on and I see... I'm trying to think, did I see Cena go through a table? Yeah, Cena went through a table, so I'm like, alright, I'll just leave this on, right? And CM Punk's wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin t-shirt, which I guess since Austin... I missed that too. I missed Austin leaving on bad terms. I missed The Rock leaving, coming back, leaving. So CM Punk's sitting there with a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. He's got the microphone in his hand, so I remember texting one of my friends from college. I'm like, yo, this guy's, I think he's doing a shoot interview. Shoot interview is kind of planned, but they go off the script a little bit and they, say what they really want. Which the story ended up being that, before, I guess Punk was in contractual debate or whatever, and he was on his way out anyway, not storyline but for real. So I guess before the show started, they gave him the microphone and said, all right, you could say what you want to say about the company, but when we think that you're crossing the line, we'll cut off the show, or we'll stop the show, or cut your microphone off. So that was the backstory of that, which I had no idea about, and no one knew until the CM Punk DVD came out. So he starts like ripping into the company, ripping into the other wrestlers, ripping into the fans, ripping into of how things are done. And it was everything that I was like, yep, that's exactly why I stopped watching it. And this guy probably um, bust his ass, and he was just upset as I was, but he's part of it. So I was watching. I'm texting my roommate. I'm like, yo, turn this on. This guy, I didn't even know his name. I was like, this guy is ripping McMahon in WWF, and then he starts mentioning Triple H. He mentions John Laurinaitis, Stephanie, and then he's about to get into a personal story about Vince McMahon, and that's when they cut his mic dead. So I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I immediately go into like Twitter and the wrestling forums, and you know what? Punk did a good job of bringing a lot of people back into the show, back into the sport. So I know he's not a part of it now, and that's the main reason why it sucks. But he made it, must tune in TV. Like you couldn't miss next week or whatever. So for him to do that, I had to watch the week after just to see what was going on. Was it real? Because I had no idea. Was it planned? Is he really leaving or whatever? Um, and the leaving part was real too. If you watch the DVD, he was ready to just pack up and go. He said it multiple times that he's got enough money. He's not doing this for the money. He's just doing it because he likes it, or he did like it. So he ends up, winning the belt and quote unquote quitting, and they, write him off. I think they suspended him for a few weeks. They write him off, and I think he was off TV for like 5 weeks, maybe 2 weeks. But as he was off TV, he was at the Cubs game, he was at the hockey game, which was pretty funny, and it's just doing things, posted on Twitter, Instagram, him with the belt, but he quit. They end up having like a tournament for the belt. I can't believe this is like 5 years ago too. And they give it back to Cena, which is Cena's their Superman. But they shove Cena down their throats. The viewers, and that's why people don't like Cena. Cena could be the nicest guy, but no, they're sick of him. I've only seen Cena for 3 years, not 13 years, and I'm sick of him. But they don't care. I think WWE does it to the point where they do it because they can, and they don't care because they know that the people are going to still subscribe to the network, still watch Raw and the pay-per-views. But you know what? I canceled my WWE subscription. I stopped watching Raw because I can't take, turning on at 11 o'clock and seeing Cena standing tall with his arms in the air. And I don't even know what's happening before, but I know that, he defied the odds or, faced his toughest adversary, and, Cena's on top. So, the way it is now, they kind of lucked out last year with the whole Daniel Bryan wave, which was similar to the CM Punk wave, and they kind of rode it. They put the belt on him, and unfortunately, he had a legitimate neck injury. I guess the way he wrestles, he does some moves where he just, voluntarily falls on his back or neck or whatever. So it does take a toll. He may never wrestle again, but supposedly he's coming back at Rumble. But he won the belt, and then like a week after, you never saw him wrestle again. And he's been out all of last year. So he won at Rumble, this big story, success story. And their hottest guy, their biggest guy, was sidelined. He didn't even show up on TV. He's getting surgery, rehab, and all this stuff. So what do? They go back to Cena. You had Orton in there. So supposedly Cena and Orton have fought as a main event about like 60 times. Which, if I'm a consumer buying pay-per-views, I don't want to keep buying the same thing. It's so stupid. So that kind of angered the crowd too. And just like the way that the show is made up is they don't describe what's going on in the ring anymore. So Michael Cole, who was there for the Attitude Era, doesn't call moves anymore. He's just talking about what's trending on Twitter, talk about who tweeted what, mentioning the WWE Network to death. And there's no, Jim Ross presence there of, dropped toe holds or Irish whips, or he's going on the top rope. It's someone would be doing a signature move, and Michael Cole would be talking about that Raw hashtag Raw is trending in London or something like that, or they'll be talking about which D or E level celebrity is going to be hosting Raw next week, while there's a match going on. So that's more important to Vince McMahon or Triple H. I guess it's mostly Triple H than in ring action. And I know just by looking on some of these sites that they're not allowed, as per a memo, to refer the championship as a belt anymore. They're not allowed to call these guys wrestlers. They're not allowed to say fighting or wrestling. It's competing. There's so many words that they can't do, that they can't say, that it has to be so PG, which is stupid too. So that's why I saw myself stop watching it, because it's just ridiculous now, and it's 3 hours. They don't have enough talent to fit in 3 hours. They don't have enough excitement for 3 hours. It's so watered down that I would say and there's a guy again on here on YouTube that tapes the actual wrestling. So out of 180 minutes or 190 minutes, however long Raw is, that there's only like 27 minutes of in-ring wrestling or 30 minutes of in-ring wrestling, which is a joke. But most of it is, this is what happened last week on Raw, this is what happened on SmackDown. So I would say about 40 minutes are replays about what happened last week. Then you have these terrible backstage interviews. And then you have polls, you have mentions of, the network ad nauseum. So it's more of a joke. If you sit through it for 3 hours, you come back at 11:15 or whatever, and it's like, did I just watch 3 hours of that? So, between the gym, between Monday Night Football, and between just not being able to sit through it, it's awful. I mean, obviously, a 5-year-old kid seeing John Cena with his shirt off goes crazy, but for me, from going from The Rock, Austin, Undertaker, Mankind, those guys, to now just John Cena, and Randy Orton, or who's the new guy, Dean Ambrose. It's terrible, and this new breed of wrestlers, I mean, doesn't appeal to the old school guys. There's no, everyone's got first and last name. There's no occupational gimmick. There's no, larger than life gimmick. There's no character gimmicks anymore. It's all first and last name, whether it be real names, whether it be, stage names. No Undertaker, no Papa Shango, no Big Boss Man, no, Doink the Clown, Duke the Dumpster Drosy, Sparky Plug, which was Bob Holly, Bam Bam Bigelow, no Tatanka, no Ludwig Borga. Even the Steiner brothers had a gimmick where they were, collegiate wrestlers. Just rattling, Yokozuna was this, the sumo wrestler gimmick. Shawn Michaels, the sexy boy, Diesel, Razor Ramon, who was a play on, Tony Montana from Scarface, Savio Vega, none of that. And, The Rock was a character, Stone Cold was a character, Mankind, Dude Love, Cactus Jack characters. Triple H started out as a character, this, the Connecticut Blue Blood, or whatever they called him. There's nothing like that. It's first and last names. It's Dean Ambrose. It's Roman Reigns. It's, Bray Wyatt. It's Randy Orton. John Cena. It's plain, blah. There's no excitement. So even, the roster, they could be decent. They could be decent wrestlers. They don't get the opportunity because it's not a wrestling show anymore. It's a production. It's a self-promotion. How many times are they going to mention Total Divas, which isn't even on their network? It's not even on USA. It's on the E! Network. So they're promoting people to watch something else. So just going after the pay-per-views, how to stop it, how to stop the account. I haven't watched Raw in I don't know how long. Maybe I'll watch the Royal Rumble just to just see the nostalgia of it. But it's stupid now, and hopefully they could change it. But listening to CM Punk's podcast, they don't have a plan. Vince McMahon used to plan things years ahead, or there was only 4 to 5 pay-per-views of, all right, we're going to do this at King of the Ring, and then this at SummerSlam. This we're going to do Survivor Series. So and so is going to win the Rumble. Then at the next WrestleMania, so and so is going to win the belt. They don't do that anymore. They just take everything short term. And you read online. You could find out online how many times Raw has been rewritten. Before they go on air at 8 o'clock. So. You see Vince rips up the script at 7 o'clock, and there's a third script written. Sometimes the script gets leaked. So they're in a state where they got to start making money too. It's a publicly traded company. Stock always floats around $10. They don't make money. They've been scaling back a lot with some of these live shows, scaling back with cutting talent both in office and in ring. They need a lot of work. They need help. They need help marketing that network. They need help fine-tuning the network so it's something, don't say you're Netflix when you have zero content, zero original content. Don't say you're just like Netflix but better. Netflix, has so much content, so much for everything. This is just, all right, you have old Raws, you have old pay-per-views, but, do cribs in some of these guys' houses. Do follow-ups. Do biographies on these guys. Have some decent content. But it's there, and they're shooting themselves in the foot because they're telling people not to buy the pay-per-views anymore, just to buy the network. So they need a better business model basically to sustain themselves. But they also need better storytelling too. Because when I watch it, I had Cena shoved down my throat every week, so I had to stop. So, what I like to see though is with the comments, comment below of, when you started watching it, when did it go bad? Do you watch now? Do you like now? How do we change? So if you want to share this, go ahead. Because I like to hear what other people say, because all my friends stopped after WrestleMania 20. None of them actually turned it back on. So I'm alone here as far as watching it goes. But I would be interested in seeing what other people, especially around the world. I mean, I'm in New York, so I had Madison Square Garden here. I got the Coliseum. We always have major shows here. What you guys remember as far as your heyday. So I'll end it with that. Comment, like, subscribe if you want, and share it. But if you want to open up for the comments, we could talk back and forth. If you want me to do other kind of videos, certain topics, we could certainly do that, whatever you guys want to hear. But for now, I'm out. Thanks.